Okay, sometimes a story just pops up on your feed that makes you stop scrolling and just stare. A headline that seems like it was cooked up by a rogue AI, a celebrity pairing so out of left field it just short-circuits your brain. Well, today we're explaining one of those perfect, baffling moments. A dinner between a pop superstar and a former world leader.
And honestly, this one comment from Reddit, which now Toronto picked up, pretty much says it all. LMAO, what? That's it. It just perfectly nails the beautiful confusion that completely took over the internet. Because really, when you see pictures of these two at a table together, what else are you supposed to think?
So, let's set the scene. It's a Monday night, Montreal. At some fancy restaurant, you've got former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sitting across from Katy Perry. Photos get out and, boom, the internet does what it does. It goes into overdrive with memes, theories, and just a giant collective scream of, "What is happening?" Which, leads us right to the big question. Is this really the most random pairing we could possibly dream up? Or is there actually something here? Let's peel back the layers on this very odd couple.
Okay, so on the surface, you can almost see a tiny bit of logic. He's 53, she's 40. He separated from his wife back in 2023. She recently split from her fiancé, Orlando Bloom. So, right, you have two famous, powerful, and very single people. And for about 1 second, you go, huh. But that's pretty much where the similarities stop. Dead stop. To really appreciate just how wonderfully weird this whole thing is, we need to do a proper tale of the tape. In this corner, the politician, and in this corner, the pop star.
All right, so you've got Justin Trudeau, famous for, running Canada. Grew up at 24 Sussex Drive, the Prime Minister's official house. And then you have Katy Perry, the literal queen of camp, who grew up in a super strict religious home. I mean, we're talking political royalty versus pop royalty.
And this is where it just gets incredible. Trudeau, he's part of a political dynasty. His school bus was followed by an RCMP security detail. Meanwhile, Katy Perry's parents were pastors and things were tight financially. So tight, she wasn't allowed to eat Lucky Charms because her mom thought the word luck sounded too much like Lucifer. I'm just saying, the dinner conversation must have been out of this world.
Okay, so let's get back to the scene of the crime. Or the date? The diplomatic summit? I don't know. Let's just call it the lobster incident. Let's break down what we actually know for sure about the dinner itself.
Here are the facts. The location was Les Violons, a Michelin guide spot in Montreal, so pretty nice. They showed up around 7 p.m., stayed for a few hours, and, for anyone wondering who paid, Trudeau picked up the tab. A gentlemanly move, whatever was going on.
So what do you eat on a night this strange? Well, they had the chef's menu. We're talking tuna, beef tartare, gnocchi, lamb, and, this is important, lobster and asparagus. This wasn't a casual let's grab a burger situation. This was a whole production. The plot thickens,
But just when you're thinking, ooh, lobster, this sounds romantic, the chef himself kind of throws a wrench in the works. He told reporters they didn't really seem like they were on a date. No PDA, no holding hands over the gnocchi, nothing. Just a very proper lobster dinner.
Of course, a little detail like no physical affection was never going to stop the internet from having a complete and total meltdown, which brings us, of course, to the online speculation. So from what we can tell, the reactions online pretty much broke down into 3 camps. About half the people were just in total shock. Then you had a solid 30% who were immediately shipping them, internet speak for wanting them to become a couple, and then a smaller, quieter group suggesting, hey, maybe they're just friends?
This comment really captures the main vibe. It's the pure randomness of it all. It feels like a pairing you'd get from a game of Mad Libs, not from real life. Another person said, I never imagined these two talking to each other at all. Yeah, I get that. Then, of course, you have the romantics. The people ready to hear firework playing in the background. This commenter is honest, at least. The logic is thin. But hey, they're age-appropriate, they're rich, they're pretty. Case closed, I guess.
And finally, you have the voice of reason, crying out in the wilderness of the web. Could it not just be dinner?
This person dares to ask the one question that kind of ruins all the fun. It's a fair point, but it's definitely not the most exciting one.
So after we look at all the evidence, the eyewitnesses, the internet freaking out, where does that leave us? What was this dinner actually for?
Here's what it all comes down to. You have two extremely famous people. Both are single. They ate a very fancy meal. There was no kissing. And one of them grew up believing Lucky Charms were a gateway to evil. That is literally all we know for sure.
Which leaves us with the million-dollar question. Are we looking at the start of a wild new power couple, Trudeau-Perry 2025? Or was this just two adults who happened to be in the same city and decided to grab some lobster? For now, only they know for sure. And you know what? The mystery's half the fun.